Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to everyone present in the webinar. I thank all our esteemed speakers for sparing their time in enlightening us with their knowledge. So I welcome all the participants to this amazing webinar, and I'm sure you will find all the answers to your concern. This is Freedom to Fly, a complete guide to pharmacist exam. The webinar is hosted by My Pharmville, a leading pharmacist exam training institute in Kerala, which has a great track record of sending medical professionals and students abroad. With this webinar, My Pharmville is trying to educate and make people aware of the job possibilities in other countries and how you can overcome the pharmacist exams. We will provide you with a complete roadmap of kickstarting your career abroad. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome our speakers, Mr. Midun Chandrasekharan, Mr. Ivan North, Mr. Santosh, and Mr. Vipin. We are also privileged to have among us some prestigious people who have supported us in all our ventures. They have been supporting us during our times of need. I would like to welcome our guest, Dr. Nagendra Rao, Principal and Professor of SCM College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, Mr. Dilip, Professor and Head Department of Pharmacy Practice, Al-Shifa College. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. I believe everyone would be need to listen to our speakers today. So without any delay, I request Mr. Midun to take up the code and enlighten us with his words. He is the founder and CEO of My Pharmville. Though he graduated in engineering, he has dedicated all his time and expertise to nourishing the career of My Pharmville students. His zeal, willpower, and extensive industry knowledge led to the foundation of My Pharmville. Today, it is a leading training institute in Kerala, which would not have been possible without his dedication and hard work. Mr. Midhu.
Sorry, thank you, Radhika, for such an amazing introduction. And actually, she's my wife, and she won't give such a good appreciation in home. Now she's giving a good appreciation here. Pretty good. Okay. Uh,
Well, that's because professionally you deserve it. You deserve more than what I just said. So, yeah, but don't get flattered.
but I'm flattered. Anyways, I'm Midun K. Chandrasekharan. I'm working as a director of My Pharmville. And there is a small difference. Actually, I'm not from your field. You all are medical professionals, but I'm not from your field. I'm an engineer graduate, a network broadcast engineer. Channel is my field, and I'm running this business for 5 years. And there is an interesting thing is actually now an engineer is taking a career guidance program to the doctors. I think it's a proud moment for all the engineers, especially me. Okay. So before going to the topics, just go for a fact check. Means, do you know how many medical professional job opportunities are available in abroad? Anyone? How many medical professional opportunities are there in abroad? Okay, any around 67% of medical professionals means they are struggling to get these jobs. Why? Why this is happening? Because lack of information, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. Because these medical professionals won't know how to apply, how to crack this exam, and how to land in these countries. in this webinar session, we will surely give you a roadmap to crack this exam, how to apply for this exam, and how to land in these countries. So let's start with the CAPS examination. CAPS, Knowledge Assessment of Pharmaceutical Sciences. We shortly call it as CAPS. This examination is for New Zealand and Australia. Australia and New Zealand, and there is Australian CAPS is there and New Zealand CAPS is there. Then compared to New Zealand, means those who are applying for the New Zealand CAPS, they have only 2 attempts. Means for New Zealand CAPS only have 2 attempts, and we have to move there to attempt the examination. But compared to compared to New Zealand, Australia have lifelong attempts. Means and we have to attend the exam. Means this CAPS examination in India. 5 centers is the Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi. And some advantages are there for this CAPS examination because no experience is needed. Those who graduated directly can apply for this examination, and you can attempt first examination in India, either taking Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, or as exam centers. And lifelong attempt is there. This CAPS examination is an online, system-wise, computer-based examination. Multiple choice questions. 5 options you have. CAPS examination consists of 2 papers. Paper 1, 100 questions, 2 hours, and paper 2, 100 questions, 2 hours. 50% you have to pass. After clearing this CAPS examination, you have to clear English language test, either IELTS, OET, or PTE. 7 band is needed for the IELTS, and B band is needed for the OET. After clearing this English text, you have to go for 1,000 hours internship in Australia, either in hospitals or in pharmacies, almost 1 year. After, don't bother about that because it's a paid internship. It's a paid internship. You will surely get $20 to $25 at this internship period time. And after clearing this or completing this internship period, you have an Indian exam, a written and oral examination. After completing this Indian exam, we can tell you are a pharmacist or a registered pharmacist in Australia. This is the procedure how to apply for the CAPS examination. And the next thing is how to move to Australia. You can move either by PR visa or by student visa or by sibling visa or by spouse visa or by internship visa. Internship training, we are supporting for this internship training along with our partner, Mr. Ivar North, the CEO of P2P Recruitment. So, Mr. Ivar will explain the details of Australian pharmacy careers and internship program. Radhika.
Here, I would like to request Mr. Ivor North to take the steering and guide us regarding your internship program. Mr. Ivor is the CEO of the P2P Recruitment Agency, wherein he offers the internship programs for the students. His internship has helped many students in India. Kerala's first CAPS student got a career in Australia through his internship. P2P has also partnered with My Pharmville and extended their internship program. We are grateful to have you among us. Please educate our students about the significance of this internship in their careers and how they can make the best of CAPS. Mr. Ivor.
Radhika and Midun, thank you very much for your warm welcome. And welcome, India. This is Australia talking. So welcome along. How many of you want to come to Australia? Maybe raise your hands, yeah? Let me see how many hands are raised. Okay, that's good. A few more? Maybe some of them are asleep. Okay, if you want to sleep in Midun's session, that's okay. But make sure you listen to how and when, all right, the pathway to Australia is. So once again, welcome along. My name is Ivan North, and I'm the founder of P2P Recruitment. P2P Recruitment is based in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, all right? It's one of the states, and basically we've been in operation for the past 8 years, predominantly recruiting overseas pharmacists anywhere around the world, whether it be in India, Pakistan, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Zimbabwe, Kenya, South Africa, the UK, New Zealand, all right, they all want to come to Australia. And guess what? We can fit them in. We only have 22 million people, and we have a lot of room for you. And there are jobs. There are several jobs. And one of the right things you are doing, you're going to the right place in India, Pharmville, all right, who I've partnered with, and we have built this relationship for a number of years. And this is going to be your pathway, okay? So let me commence. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself. So I've been in the pharmacy industry for more than 15 years, and I understand pharmacy through and through. I know everyone in the pharmacy industry in Australia, every employer around there, and I'll give you a bit of a snapshot of what Australia is all about. So today I want to cover off basically the current landscape in Australia, facts about current pharmacy job market in Australia, the current pharmacy landscape in terms of the actual pharmacy landscape, not so much pharmacists. Talk about the overseas pharmacist eligibility criteria. I know Midun touched about it, but I want to reiterate on that. Some of the benefits why overseas pharmacists are so lucrative in the Australian market. Talk about visas and travel exemptions. You know, we got this thing called COVID at the moment, but that shouldn't worry us at all right? And I'll touch about that a little bit later. And lastly, a call to action. So let me get started. So currently, the pharmacist landscape in Australia, we have something like 25,000 registered pharmacists in Australia, all right? And these 25,000 are practicing, and they practice in a number of the states, number of the different cities right across Australia. But there is a significant shortage of pharmacists in regional locations, okay? So what the Australian government has said is, if you're an overseas pharmacist, or for that matter, if you're an immigrant and you want to come to Australia, pharmacy is on the skill shortage list. So basically, if you want to come to Australia, what you need to do is you've got to go regional for about 5 years, all right? Simple. The old days where you used to be able to go to the capital cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane is a no-go zone anymore. But other than that, Australia is really open for you. And that varies depending on where you may get an internship and a job offer and an employer sponsorship of where you're going to land up, okay? In terms of the pharmacy landscape in Australia, currently the pharmacy landscape, there's about 5,000 Australian pharmacies. These 5,000 Australian pharmacies, all right, the landscape is very different because Australian market is a very highly regulated market. You've got to be a pharmacist to own a pharmacy. And very simply, you've got to be in the pharmacy to operate a pharmacy. If you're not a pharmacist, you can't open the doors, simple as that. So it's highly regulated, and that's kind of where the picture is. Now, in terms of these 5,000 pharmacies, those 5,000 pharmacies are broken up into a number of groups. So you got the Terry White Chemist Group, you got the Amcal Group, you got the Guardian Group, you got the Priceline, you got the Chemist Warehouse Group. So there's about almost 10 different pharmacy groups in Australia, and they almost represent about 2/3 of the Australian market in today's market. 30% of that market is broken into independents. So realistically, you're talking about 75% are the big banner chains, the big retailers, okay? So from that perspective, all right, pharmacists mainly, I think Midun said you can get an internship in a pharmacy or you can get an internship in hospital, all right? Now, typically, internships in hospital are practically getting nil. The reason of that is a lot of hospitals are starting to outsource to community pharmacy. So realistically, before you kind of get ahead of yourself in relation to what you're looking for, you've got to realize that there is a very good chance you're going to be, if you're working as a pharmacist in Australia, all right, you're going to be working in community pharmacy. Now, one of the reasons why community pharmacy employ 99% of pharmacists that are registered in Australia is purely because the Australian government runs a fantastic health program called the PBS program, the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme. And there are a number of initiatives from the Australian government that actually provide pharmacists and have elevated pharmacists to provide a number of healthcare services to the community, and including COVID vaccines. Can anyone tell me, does pharmacists administer COVID vaccines in India? Anyone answer that? Is pharmacists delivering COVID vaccines in India at the moment?
No, they're not. Like,
No.
pharmacists don't do that. No.
Okay, so this is a really pure example of what I'm talking about in terms of really broadening the scope of pharmacists' roles, all right, to ensure they are really engaged with other healthcare practitioners, allied healthcare practitioners, and even in this time of need with COVID, all right, pharmacy is actually administering COVID vaccines. So they do COVID vaccines, they do flu shots, they do hearing tests, they do, there's a number of things that they do within the pharmacy, and they are part of the community pharmacy service offering, all right, that the Australian government demand from pharmacy. So that's the reason why, and community pharmacy is pretty much around every corner of the street in Australia. So it's very accessible to the public and to health, to the patients. So that's why community pharmacy, all right, is very sustainable as far as job opportunities are concerned. Hospital, they're few and far between, and really hospitals are there for the critical rather than immediate care, all right, where you could go into a pharmacy, get whatever outcome you're looking for, and it's very simplistic. So that's basically as far as the landscape of pharmacy. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, I know Midun talked to you about, am I talking too fast? Because Australians do talk fast. Are you with me, all of you?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So going back to the overseas eligibility. So in simplistic terms, I think Midun beautifully articulated what you need to be doing to get to Australia. So firstly, you got to get your papers assessed. All right, once you get your papers assessed, you're able to sit for an exam. I'm sure Pharmville will be able to assist you in that process, getting through that really kind of pressured situation. Then you have your English, and I think Pharmville also facilitate that. So they're the two main things. So once you're a pharmacist, you're a graduate, all right, you've completed your CAPS, all right, you've got your eligibility letter from the Australian Pharmacy Council, and you've actually passed your English assessment, then you can come in contact with me, and I'm happy to help all of you, okay? There is a process. Pharmville are the point of contact, all right? And I'm sure we'll be able to help you. The other thing, why is it that Australian employers are looking for overseas pharmacists, all right? Just like anything, everybody wants something. The world rotates on basically uh, everything has a cost, everything has a value, all right? There's no what you'd call a free lunch anymore, or in the world for that matter. So from an Australian employer's perspective, they've teamed up with the Australian government, all right, as far as regional visas are concerned, and they're offering overseas pharmacists, all right, contracts for 5 years. So basically, think about this, pharmacist, all right, in India, all right, you will have a 5-year contract, all right, to come to Australia and work, get your internship done, complete your internship, did I say 5? Sorry, 6 years. 6 years, complete your internship, 5 years working as a pharmacist, all right, you've got a full-time position until you stabilize and really create in terms of wealth for your personal self, so you're able to move on. And then you're in a position to be able to move to a capital city if you want to. Regional locations are fantastic as well, all right? I myself lived in a regional location for more than 20 years, all right? And most regional locations, as much as you might say they're regional locations, they are very well facilitated, all right? They get great hospitals, in some cases airports, good facilities with healthcare, schooling, education, some cases university. So there's a number of great facilities. So you don't need to worry about locations of where you're going either, all right? The most important thing for you is to get a good grounding within pharmacy, all right, with a great employer who's able to help you, assist you, all right? What it does, it actually, tell me, how many of you are actually looking at actually embedding into pharmacy, getting a career in pharmacy, not just being a pharmacist for the sake of being a pharmacist, but perhaps maybe becoming a specialist in that area, whether it be a clinical pharmacist one day, all right? What we call consulting pharmacists, all right? Where you can do home medication reviews and all those type of things. Or how many of you want to become managers, supervisors, all right? With high-paying jobs, getting paid 150,000. I think Midun talked to you about a traineeship paid 50,000 or $25 an hour, all right? So an internship is about $50. Potentially, you have the ability to earn $150,000, $200,000 a year, all right? If you start landing some of these good jobs, whether it be managers, all right, or in some cases even business owners, all right? And that's the beauty about you coming in, all right, aligning yourself with a great employer, all right, someone who's going to actually coach, mentor you to be able to develop that, all right? What's in it for them as an employer? Basically, they get the services of an overseas pharmacist. They train you, but at the same token, they make an investment just like you, where I talked to, neither of party is going to get a free lunch, all right? So very simply, all right, there's an expectation from you to perform as a pharmacist, but what they do in return is offer you career paths, okay? In terms of visas and travel exemptions, all right, can anyone tell me how many visas and travel exemptions? Obviously, Australia's borders are very strict, correct? Everybody understand that? And they're probably disappointed because they can't move as quickly as possible to Australia. But let me reassure you, all right? In the last 8 weeks, all right, I've had more than 40 pharmacists from overseas, all right, get visas and travel exemptions to enter into Australia, all right? But that is, you know why? I know Midun talked about several different options about pathways to Australia through student visas, all right, through marriage, through partnership, all right, all of these things. But the correct way, all right, the platinum pathway is securing a job, securing a visa, all right, and entering Australia. So basically from day one, you get to work in Australia, all right? So you got to understand Australia, as much as it is a land of the opportunity, okay? If you don't have a job, the cost of living in Australia is very expensive, all right? Very, very expensive, all right? And unless you can afford to arrive in Australia without a job and survive for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, float around, maybe you have rich parents, maybe you don't want to work, maybe you're just happy to get to Australia, then this is not for you. But otherwise, a great opportunity in terms of working with an employer, aligning yourself, getting an internship, all right, and getting to Australia. That's the platinum pathway. And that's, if you're interested in that pathway, P2P Recruitment will definitely assist you, all right? So that's all, folks, I have. I'm happy to take any questions if the chair is allowed to offer that right now to you, or perhaps maybe later. Otherwise, I'm sure Midun and Radhika will actually share my contact details and P2P with you through the session or at the end of the session. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully, all right, I look forward to you guys coming to Australia one day. And I'm sure I'm going to be around for a while, and I'm sure I'll meet, and you'll probably say to me, hey, I remember meeting you at one of these webinars you did. And I'll say, yes, that was me. All right. So welcome, hopefully, to Australia. All right. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Ivor, for being highly insightful and resourceful. I hope everyone got a gist of why the internship is important. We are immensely grateful for Mr. Ivor, who took time out of his busy schedule for us and help our students gain insight regarding GAP's internship. Due to his busy schedule, he won't be able to continue further. If anyone has any questions that they want to ask Mr. Ivor, can type in the chat box and we will get them answered from Mr. Ivor. Now it's time to welcome our speaker, Mr. Santosh, who is the language skill test who is a language skill test tutor in Kerala and Asian head of P2P agency. He is the Kerala's first OET pharmacist tutor, and maybe the only one, who has guided many students in successfully completing their language skill test. I would like to welcome Santosh to guide our students regarding language skill test. Mr. Santosh.
Hello. I believe I'm audible to you all. Can you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello to everyone out there. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you for introducing me and giving me the opportunity to speak over the webinar. Let me say thanks to North, Mr. North, thank you for sharing valuable time and your opinion. And Midun, thank you once again. And thank you once again to everyone for listening to and participating in our webinar. Okay. As Mr. Midun told, like you need to clear CATs and other related examination to go to Australia. At the same time, you have a pathway with Mr. Ivan North, P2P, who shall make sure that you shall hit the shores of Australia. Okay. But to do all this, you need to prove your language skill also. You need to prove your language skill. You need to get good language skill test to make yourself eligible for Australia. Okay. Let me speak a little bit about how and what and which way you can clear some of the language test process. Okay. Communication. Communication is a very important mode, but it doesn't mean that you need to speak English. Okay. You need to speak a language that is being understood by the natives of the place you're visiting. Okay. We have a world out there where the dumb also communicate. They don't have a voice, but they do communicate. So communication is all about letting others know what you exactly mean to say or what you intend, right? So do not think that communication is all about knowing English. No. Communication is all about knowing the native language of the country you are in, you are planning to go. Okay. clear a language skill test and get above B grade to make sure yourself eligible for visiting any of these countries. But how to clear any of this language skill test, let me tell you one thing. None of these tests are syllabus based. Okay, it's not like your school days, the teacher says, okay, my dear students, you need to learn from chapter 5 to chapter 11 and you have an exam coming up on this Saturday. No, here it's not like that because you do not have a syllabus in the first place. It's all about a language ability of yours. Okay, then how do you crack this exam? It's very simple, at the same time quite difficult if you're not good at practicing. Usually I have heard people saying that practice makes a man perfect. I don't believe in it because only right practice makes a man perfect. You can't do a wrong practice and expect yourself to be perfect, right? So you need to do the right practice to be perfect. And how do we do is, let me explain to you a little bit about it. Okay. Cracking any of this language skill test or any of the IQ level test totally depends on your subconscious mind than your conscious mind. For example, you walk on the road, you step out of your house and you walk on the footpath or the walkway, not on the roads, not on the middle of the roads, because in your subconscious mind, it is registered that you need to walk on the footpath and not on the road, right? So what we do is very simple methodology. We have around proven 7 to 10 methods of solving each and every question paper. Fine. Now, what we do for the first 2 weeks, we try all these methods, all the 6 to 10 proven method. Every candidate of ours does it. Okay. Then we analyze. Okay, so and so person is comfortable with method 4, someone is comfortable with method 7, someone is comfortable with method 6. Then what we do, we practice that methodology so that it gets registered in your subconscious mind. How do you find answers, right? So this helps, first we analyze which methodology suits you best, okay? Then we practice on that particular methodology to find the answers. A lot of this English or any of this proven test, skill level test, they have fancy imaginary questions. You have to choose the best out of the 4 options, but unfortunately, at least 3 of them are absolutely right with the question. That is where you get, this puzzle, like, okay, what's the right answer? That is where I believe that intuition plays a role. When we are doing your test papers, there are certain answers that we come to discussion when we have a talk and then we realize, okay, this was purely on intuition based. I'll ask, okay, X, how did you get the answer for this? And you will say, it was out of my intuition. I just clicked it out of my intuition. Okay. That is where we analyze, okay, your intuition also works to a certain extent. That is how we help you to practice and get the right practice registered in your subconscious mind so that you can hit the right answer. And when it becomes difficult, you let your intuition do the answering. Okay, so make sure you keep your fingers crossed and let you get out of the right side of the bed at that particular DJ, and hope that the intuitions also work. So this is how you can crack any of this language skill test. I'm not talking about particularly about any language skill. There are so many other IQ level tests also where you can do, or this is how it is done. And let me remind you one thing, let me again tell you one thing. Communication is important. It is how you handle what you know. Okay. It is not necessary that you should know everything, but there is something certainly we all know, and it is how we handle what we know decides our future. So make an analyze. Okay, if you cannot do that, come to someone who can analyze in a better way. Talk to that person, come to analyze, okay, these are my abilities. Okay, these are my qualities. These are the things that I can do. Then what you do, you put that into practice and make sure that you are successful in life. Do not do or do not add something that which you are not. Okay, analyze yourself. Okay, I'm only this much. I need to work hard. Do that. Otherwise, okay, I am good at this. Do what you're good at. That will make your life good. Do not do anything that you're not good at. It's very difficult to do things that you're not good at. Okay, so make sure that you analyze yourself. I'm good at this and do that only. Fine. And as far as language skill tests are concerned, it's a very tough, easy thing. If you ask me, it's tough. At the same time, it's easy. So it's how you handle, it's how you do, and it all depends on which side of the bed you got up on that particular day you are preparing for this exam. Fine. So if there is anything else that you need to know more about, you can always ping or you can always put a text message. We shall surely find time to reply to all your queries. Let me say thank you, North, thank you, Midun, thank you, Radhika, and thank you to everyone out there who has spent their valuable time being attentive and attending this webinar. Let me say once again thank you and have a great life. Make every day a beautiful day for yourself. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh. That was highly educational. Our students will be definitely implementing it in their studying strategy. If anyone has any questions or concerns regarding this part, can raise their question or drop them in the chat box. Our speakers will be answering. For the internship part, Mr. Santosh will be dealing it. You can ask them.
Mr. Durga Prasad, you there?
Yes, sir.
Actually, you need to. Can you hear me, Mr. Prasad?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, you need to clear only one particular exam. Okay.
Okay,
And
if you can
moreover,
qualify the PT exam, then that's
see, let me
okay
let
to.
me let me tell you something. If you are looking for to Australia, okay,
Yes.
lot of employers out there are looking for OET. Okay.
Okay,
Is
sir.
the reason they give is very simple. They say it is especially a, it's a language test skill with your occupation involved. Okay, if you're a pharmacist, it's about pharmacy. Okay, so the employers in Australia, particularly in Australia, they're looking for OET because it is occupationally oriented exam. So your proven skill is regarding the pharmacy or a dental or a nursing, whatever it is. So they are preferring OET over PTE or IELTS. Okay,
Okay, sir.
am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Neeta. Neeta, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Neeta, of course, you have exams, OET exams very much in India. You have a examination center in almost all the metros of India. The state of Kerala has two centers. Hyderabad has around 6 or 7 centers. Chennai has around 3 or 4 centers. So you can appear. I mean,
Which are the
clear.
centers? Which are the centers in Kerala?
Sorry,
Which are the centers in Kerala?
we have in Trivandrum and we have in Kochi. Okay.
How much score is required to pass the OT pharmacy?
Neetu, you're not that audible.
Yes, sir. How much score is required to pass OT pharmacy?
I'm really sorry. I'm unable to follow you, my dear. You're not at all audible. Can you just type what you're trying to ask?
Yes, sir.
Please, Neetu, please type. So no, I'm unable to read it. If you can type, it would be better because I'm unable to follow your voice because I think something to do with the network.
You can directly ask your questions by raising hand if you are not comfortable with the chat box.
Mr. Santosh, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I have a question actually. What will you prefer? Like, which one of the English test exam? What do you prefer for the students to write?
As I told you, it's not me. A lot of employers in Australia prefer OET because
Okay.
actually the reason they find is they say it is a occupation oriented skill test examination. So they know, okay, fine, you're a pharmacist, your examination is regarding pharmacy. You're a nurse, it's about nurse. You're a dentist, it's about dentistry. So they prefer OET, first goes for OET. Okay?
Okay.
Where you
So yeah, we got that actually. So when we consider the students as far as like, which will be the easiest to crack the exam as soon as possible. Like, you're talking about the like employers actually. I'm asking for the students actually, which will be the easiest to crack the exam as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, your voice is breaking up. You're not at all audible, my dear friend. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me,
Hello?
please? Yeah, can you hear me?
Unfortunately, your voice is breaking up. This is the reason why I'm
Yeah,
asking you.
I
Can you just
understand.
type
Yeah,
your
I understand
question?
actually. All right, okay. No problem. I will type in the text like in the chat box. Thank you.
Yes, fine. That will be much better. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
You can ask the questions directly if you have any.
Yeah. Hello. Hello, Madam Radhika.
Yes, Venki.
Yeah. Actually, I need to know about the DHA exam for the Dubai. Is there any information can you provide?
Midun, can you guide him?
Venki, DH examination means we will means I will explain you later because it's coming. After the session, I will explain about all the Canadian examination, then Apex examination, then DHA, MOH, HAD, Saudi, Qatar, and Oman examination. After this question hour, I will explain to you, not only you, all the attendants, I will explain to this. Okay, after this question hour, I will surely give you the details. Okay, I will explain the details of a DH examination.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Alice, your voice is breaking.
Can am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question. If after passing that, after passing CAT examination, and if you get an internship in a hospital in Australia, will we be able to work as a clinical pharmacist? Can we work directly enter as a clinical pharmacist and work there if we have experience, previous experience?
Alice, it's not audible. Can you repeat the question?
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, right. Tell me.
Sir, if we pass CATS examination and if we go to Australia and clear our internship in a hospital or maybe in a pharmacy,
Okay.
will we be able to work as a clinical pharmacist in a hospital setting directly? Can we enter as clinical pharmacist in a hospital setting?
Yeah, after getting the pharmacy registration, you can go for pharmacist or clinical pharmacist. That depends. But
And if we
getting
have,
a clinical pharmacist job directly means pretty hard to get these jobs because normally we will start with the pharmacy jobs only. After
if
1 or 2 years only, then we can go for applying this clinical pharmacist.
we have clinical pharmacy experience as a clinical pharmacist in India, will it be advantageous if we go to Australia or New Zealand?
No, there is no particular advantage for that.
So will
Means, means this Australia, it's a developing nation and we are developing nation. So they won't consider, why they consider us as a clinical pharmacist? Why? Because after getting the pharmacy license, then we go for 1 year, 2 year working in any pharmacies or something. Only we can apply for the next section.
okay.
Okay.
So our is it like our experience will not be counted there?
Sorry.
Is it like our experience, our clinical experience?
Okay.
They won't count our experience. They won't
Means
appreciate.
for this CAPS examination, we won't need any experience. Anyone can apply after the graduation. So they won't consider this experience.
So
Only
that
at
is
the time of visa processing only, they will consider this experience.
so,
Immigration purpose.
so that is the experience is not mandatory. That is your point, right?
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Tell me.
Sir, I'm radiographer from Kerala.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, sir. any vacancy for in Australia?
Sorry, it's
Radiographer.
not.
You
It's not
you do
audible.
not hear them. Okay. Give me a second.
Sorry, audible.
Okay. I'm a radiographer. Sir, I'm Sabin Raj.
Okay.
Actually, I'm working in Kuwait Ministry of Health.
Okay. Watch. Okay.
Any opportunity for radiographers in Australia?
Actually, we are now discussing about
Pharmacy
the
only.
pharmacist people, but you asked me about the radiographers. Surely, radiographers
Yes.
also have chances there.
Is
But
there?
getting into Australia at this time is very difficult because you are not included in the priority list of immigration. So it is pretty hard to get into Australia because you need a visa, either PR or student visa or any sibling visa or a spouse visa. So without means this pharmacy people means they are included in the priority list of immigration. So they are just like nurses, they are easy, they can easily move to Australia, but not all other professionals. It's pretty hard to get into Australia. Okay.
Any other allied health science they can apply there
Normally,
with
otherwise,
without nurses and pharmacists.
sorry,
Without nurses and pharmacists. Any allied health science like can physiotherapy,
no, we are not doing.
practitioner.
No,
No.
no, we are not doing that. We are especially focused on the pharmacists, nurses, and doctors and dentists.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I request Mr. Midun again to take up the webinar forward. We will come up with the question answers section again. You can ask questions there. Okay. Right. Welcome, Mr. Midun.
Thank you, Radhika. Let's continue with the next examination. It's PEBC, Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada. We shortly call it as PEBC or PEBEC. The means first thing means the most toughest examination in your field, one of the most toughest examination in field, and it's a costly examination also. This examination you can attempt twice in a year, June and January, and you can attempt this examination from India because this PBC consists of 3 examinations: evaluation exam, qualifying examination, and OSCE. You can attempt 2 examinations, evaluation exam and qualifying examination from India. First, evaluation exam means whatever you study in B.Pharm, M.Pharm and PharmD, the entire syllabus is there, including medicinal chemistry and calculation part. If you are not interested in calculations, it will be hectic for you. And it's an online, system-wise, computer-based examination, multiple choice questions. You have 5 options in your. If you have 5 options in your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts, 60% to pass. Means it's a 200 questions, 4.25 hours, 60% to pass. That's the scenario of this evaluation examination. And after this examination, after passing or clearing this examination, you have to attend qualifying examination. Qualifying examination means Canada, 10 provinces and 4 territories. Means provinces means British Columbia, Ontario, Halifax, Quebec. So every provinces have their own pharmacy law is there. So jurisprudence, then social behavioral effects and responsibilities of a pharmacist. This constitute the qualifying examination. This examination also you can attend from India, Bangalore, Chennai, Punjab, Delhi, Kolkata as the centers, exam centers. Then after clearing this qualifying examination, the next examination is OSCE. OSCE, we have to move there and attend the examination. There is no exam center in India. We have to move to Canada and attempt OSCE, the 3rd exam. It's a practical session. Means in their language, station 1, station 2, station 3, station 4, Totally 6 rooms is there. And if you enter into a single room, enter into a room, you can see a person who act like a patient. You have to interact them, prescribe them just like patient counseling. They not only check your knowledge, your attitude towards the patients, your empathy, sympathy, everything they will be checked. And after clearing this OSCE examination, you have an internship period of 6 months to 1 year is there. Means it's a paid internship. You will get 20 to 25 Canadian dollars per hour. And after this internship period, you can register as a pharmacist, registered pharmacist in Canada. But it is not easy, as I said. It's a tougher examination, and it will take almost 2.5 years to 3 years to complete all these procedures. But the other side is very good. Have a good package, salary package, like so psychiatrist salary package is there, dignity job, well respectful job is there. But the exam is not good, means not that much easy. It's a tight one. Okay, this is all about the PEBC examination. Then we can move to US. US have a licensing examination. Its name is NAPEX. NAPEX means it's divided into 3 steps. First one is FPGE, equivalency examination. The second one is TOEFL. TOEFL means merely English test. And the third one is NAPEX, North American Pharmacist Licensing Examination. So first one is equivalency examination. It's an online, system-wise, computer-based examination, multiple choice questions, 5 options you have, and in your lifetime you have 5 attempts, 250 questions, 4.25 hours, 50% to pass. Then comes the TOEFL. TOEFL is merely English test, means language test. After clearing this test, the last one is NAPEX, North American Pharmacist Licensure Exam. It's also an online system-wise computer-based examination and multiple choice questions, 5 options you have, and 250 questions is there, 6 hours. You have to finish it in 6 hours. The disadvantage of this exam is there is no exam center in India. You have to attempt all these 3 examinations in US only. This is one of the most toughest examination in your field, and pretty hard to get this exam. Okay, then we can move to the Middle East examinations. UAE, Saudi, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain examinations. First one means if you consider UAE, it's 7 Emirates. Dubai, if you want to work in Dubai, you have to clear DHA examination, Dubai Health Authority examination. Means 2-year experience is needed for this examination. It's an online, system-wise, computer-based examination, multiple choice questions, 4 options you have. In your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts. All the metropolitan cities in India have the exam centers. And in Kerala, it's in Trivandrum. In Tamil Nadu, it's in Chennai. In Karnataka, it's in Bangalore. And in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, it's in Hyderabad. There is another procedure in this examination is called data flow. Data flow means your verification of certificates. Means this ministry is appointed a department called data flow department to check and verify your certificates. Means 10th certificate, +2 certificate, your degree certificate, then transcript, then your registration certificate, then good standing certificate, then your 2-year experience certificate. When we submit all these documents, they will check and verify all these documents within 45 to 60 working days and give a positive data flow report. What is the importance of data flow? Means data flow, if you pass the examination, if you won't clear this exam, means if you won't clear this data flow, you can't work there. That's your licensure. So equally important, passing the examination and clearing data flow is equally important for this Middle East examinations. DHA examination is 150 questions, 2.45 hours, 60% to pass. Clear. Then comes next examination, HAD. It's also a examination in UAE. HAD means Health Authority of Abu Dhabi. This examination is for Abu Dhabi. It's also need 2-year experience. And this is also an online system-wise computer-based examination, multiple choice questions, 4 options you have. In your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts. And it's 150 questions, 2.5 hours, 90% to pass. 90% to pass. Means getting 90 out of 100 is a tight one. So this is the most toughest examination in the Middle East. There is also data flow procedure is there. After clearing the data flow only, you will can register the examination, because the data flow have that much importance in these examinations. Next comes MOH examination, Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health means this examination is separate for, apart from this, Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Al Quwain, Fujairah. For these 5 Emirates, this MOH examination is applicable. 2-year experience is needed, and it's an online system-wise computer-based examination, multiple choice questions, 4 options you have. In your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts. It's 150 questions, 3 hours, 60% to pass. Data flow procedure is also there. You have to clear data flow only, you can work there. Then next comes Saudi Prometric. Saudi, Oman, Qatar, Bahrain. We call it as Prometric examinations. Saudi means it's a 2-year experience is mandatory. And this is also an online system-wise computer-based examination, multiple choice questions. And it's 150 questions, 3 hours. In your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts, and after clearing data flow only, you can work there in Saudi Arabia. It's also a tight examination because the pattern of this exam is changed recently. Not only this Saudi, Qatar and Oman also totally changed. The next comes Oman examination. Oman also, it's a Prometric examination. 2-year experience is needed. And it's a multiple choice questions, online examination, computer-based examination. It's 150 questions, 3 hours, and you have only 3 attempts in your lifetime. Data flow procedure is there. And after the clearing this examination, you have a Viva. A Viva in the ministry Viva is there. After clearing the Viva only, you will get you can work there. You can work in Oman. Then comes to Qatar. Qatar examination. This is also an online system-wise examination, multiple choice questions. 3-year experience is needed. And it's 150 questions, 3 hours. In your lifetime, you have only 3 attempts, and 60% is needed to pass this exam. Same data flow procedure is there, means verification of your certificates. Then comes the Bahrain examination. Bahrain is also a Prometric examination, and it's an online system-wise computer-based examination. 5-year experience is needed, and in your lifetime you have 4 attempts. In your lifetime you have only 4 attempts, and the next is it's 150 questions, 3 hours, 60% to pass. Okay, and that's all about the examination details and sections. Now you can ask for any doubts and clarifications. If you have any doubts or clarifications, you can ask now about any examinations. You can directly ask the questions.
You can raise your question or
if anyone have any doubts, you can ask directly.
I would like to ask how many total attempts in a lifetime can we do the PPEC examination?
In DH examination. Normally, sorry?
The Canadian.
3 attempts.
3 in total, I mean in all lifetime.
Yeah, no, 4 lifetime, only 3 attempts.
And is there a prior experience required for it?
Means for the first examination, they won't ask for the experience. In their website, you can see 3 year experience is needed. But for the graduation exam, they won't ask for this experience.
Okay.
Any questions you can ask? Anyone?
Hello, Mr. Midun, can you hear me?
Yes, Abhinand.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, what's your perception and what your thoughts on the future of pharmacists in Australia, especially those who are looking to clear the gaps and move to Australia, and also the pharmacists also in the Australia right now. What's your opinion on the future of pharmacists in Australia?
CAPS examination means first of all it's a tight examination. The other side means if you get a pharmacy job or a clinic pharmacy job, the salary package level and everything is good, but the examination is not good. It's a tight one, tougher examination. Means getting this exam means for this Middle East examination we can crack it easily compared to Western countries examination, but Australian examination is a tight one of the toughest examination we feel. But getting into Australia and work there is a dream for everyone. Means it's a final destination. Maybe I can say it's a final destination. Okay.
We'll get like more job opportunities, you're saying, in the future also.
A lot of opportunities. What I was told means a lot of opportunities there. Means a lot of job opportunities. But passing this examination and getting into Australia, both are important. Because now in this pandemic time, it's very important. But maybe we will expect they will surely open the borders within 2 months or 3 months. We'll surely open the borders and everything.
Yeah, maybe within next year, might be they'll be open the borders. Yeah.
Yeah, means a lot of opportunity will come, and they will take bulk internship pharmacist in March, April time.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, still we are in the skill level list. Still, they need lot of pharmacists for the vaccination, everything. So maybe it will be there as for the future months also. They will still hold the visa type actually for the pharmacist.
Means one more thing is there in the case of CAPS exam CAPS means Australian pharmacist. Now the pharmacists are added into the priority list. It is a very advantage for the all pharmacists because the pharmacist category is added to the immigration priority list. So it's pretty easy to get the visa procedures. Rejection chance is very less because just like nurses, you can also move to there, and after the internship period, you can directly go for the PR. Means previous times, if after the in 407 visa, means internship visa or 407 visa, you can convert into work visa. Means the employer will acquire you and it will change to work visa. Then only you can apply for the PR. But now your category, pharmacist category is included in the priority list. So it will be pretty easy for everyone because you can directly, after the internship period, you can directly apply for the PR. So it's an advantage. And now India is removed from the red list.
Okay. Yeah, as far as the situation concerned, the pharmacists, those who are like vaccination, they are playing a major role in the Australia for vaccination and all. Like, yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, for the vaccination and all, yeah, they're using the pharmacists actually.
Right.
So that's the reason, like, might be the reason they are included in the priority list, I think, yeah.
Right. Because now they need pharmacists. And one more thing, some of the students called me and tell me that why I choose this pharmacy field. It's utter waste. Don't think like this because this is a great opportunity for you because you will get a lot of opportunities abroad, and you will get the dignity, you will get the respectable job, and you will get a respectable salary also. So one thing why I take this, okay. Then anything else?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
tell me.
Hello.
Tell me.
Hello, Mr. Mithun. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sumi, tell me.
So, is it possible to tell the pay scale of a clinical pharmacist in Australia?
Normally in the regional areas, you will get 60 to $65 per hour
Okay.
in the regional areas.
Okay.
And in hospitals, maybe better high options you will surely get. But getting as a clinical pharmacist immediate effect means can't possible. After
Okay.
working as a pharmacist only, you will get or updated into a clinical pharmacist.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Okay, thanks to me. Then
Midun,
yes.
Mr. Muhammad Imtiaz want to ask you, like, is there any negative marking for these exams, like UAE exams, DHM, OHM?
No, there is no negative marking for all these abroad examinations. There is no negative marking. But don't think, because if it is not negative marking, it is easy. Don't think like this, because these are all abroad examinations and they have their own standards. Okay, there is no negative marking.
Sir, I want to know that
Tell me.
in case of this DHA exam,
Okay.
after this data flow procedure only, we could write this DHA exam
No,
or
no, no,
within.
no, no. No, Anjali. In the case of MOH and HAT, we can, after finishing the data flow only, we can apply for the exam. But in the case of this DHA, there is an option to apply for the exam registration. We can first attempt for the exam registration. And after clearing the exam, you can go for the data flow procedure. There
Okay,
is an option.
okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
I wanted to ask if somebody resides in UAE, let's say Dubai, and they want to apply for a Canadian exam, can they do that online?
Yeah, sure. You can. They can apply for the Canadian examination. Means the first step is PEBC evaluation. It's a type of your verification, certificate verification. Exactly like your transcript, your registration certificate, then your degree certificates. Mainly they will check.
And what's
And
the fee for
it's
this?
almost a PBC evaluation. I think it's almost for the evaluation purpose, it will be take 60,000 something.
Okay.
And after this, you can attempt for or register the examination. I told you this is 2 times. You can register the examination, PBC examination 2 times in a year, June and January. Almost it will take 50,000 or 51,000 total amount.
INR or dollars?
Means INR, Indian rupees.
Okay.
For the exam, evaluation exam registration.
Mr. Mithun,
Yes.
I just have a doubt. So, whether this Middle East examination, this a license is valid in Australia?
No. Because every countries have their own licensing examinations.
Okay.
If you pass the exam only, you get the license of that country.
Okay.
It's not valid.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And what about, I mean, I've heard that Canadian or NAPLEX licenses are valid in UAE. Are they?
That I have to check, because if they get Canadian licensing and or an application licensing, why will they get into UAE? Because they will surely get a package of 7 to 8 lakhs starting package. So why they go for a 1 lakh package? I don't think so. Every country have their own licensing examinations. After clearing this exam only, they can go for the jobs in that specific country. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, how much money required for to write CAPS exam?
Sorry, Durga.
How much money, sir, actually required for the CAPS exam? Actually, exam fee, sir.
CAPS examination means there is a procedure called assessment. Your certificate verification, exactly your degree certificate, transcript, and your registration. It will take for the assessment. It will take 85,000, and after you can register this examination thrice in a year: March, July, October. So For this exam registration, it will take 1,25,000.
Okay, sir.
Mithun, Muhammad Imtiaz want to know, like he recently came to know that there is no exam for M-Farms in Qatar. So, can you explain?
Actually, they are changing the rules within 1 week. 1 week they will changing the rules. But now, means previous week they issue a letter that M-Farm and Farm Day have no exams, but exam registration is ongoing for all these Qatar examination. Exam registration is ongoing. Okay, we can't predict what they do the next step because they will change every week. They will change this rules and regulations in the pharmacy. Okay.
Mr. Midden,
Yes.
so for this Baron licensure examination, what is the criteria for a pharmacist? Is it a 5 year or 2 year experience?
Normally, it's a 5 year experience is needed for the Baron.
Okay, 5 year experience is mandatory or 2 year is
If the employer allows
sufficient?
you, if the employer allows you for 2 years, means data flow.
Okay.
That's the procedure. If an employer
Okay.
allows you for 2 years, no problem.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, actually I completed M-Farm, but I have no 2 year experience after this M-Farm. So I put my qualification as B-Farm. So for later, can I add this M-Farm to my license or
Sure.
not?
You can add it, the later. You can add the M-Farm certificate to the data flow. No problem with that. You can add. But one certificate costs almost for DHA it's 7,000 or 6,000 something. INR.
Okay. So for that later adding, is I need write exam again?
No, you can add directly.
Directly. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Mithun, Mr. Nafeel Karim want to know that what is the general procedure for GPs, like those who are planning to work in UAE?
General practitioners means GPs. It's a doctors. They need a 3 year experience. They need 3 year experience for clearing the data flow, and it's an online system-wise computer-based examination. Multiple choice questions. 4 options you have. You can attempt the examination in India also. It's 100 questions. For dentists and doctors, it's 100 questions, 2.5 hours, 60% to pass.
Okay. And Mr. Muhammad Imtiaz want to know what is the validity of UAE license after passing the exam?
In this DHA examination, validity period is 1 year. For HAD examination, it's 3 year, and for the MOH examination, it's 5 years. For Qatar, it's 3 year 3 year validity, and Oman also 3 year validity. Then anything else?
So after one, let's say, if somebody has a DHA license, then after 1 year they'll have to renew it through a test or just by paying a fee.
Within 1 year, you have to go for the job, and the employer will activate your license. If the validity period expires, you have to again attempt the exams. Okay.
Can I know
Yes.
the procedure for FPG, like NAPLEX exam?
Means the documentation side, it's pretty hard because with these examinations, means FPG, NAPLEX won't have any centers in India. It's an online system-wise computer-based examination, multiple choice questions, 5 options you have. In your lifetime, you have 5 attempts, 250 questions, 4.5 hours, 50% to pass. Pretty hard to get this examination because you need at least 6 months period preparation time is needed.
Okay, my husband got a visa for US, so can I try with the dependent over there?
Yeah, you can surely try for this examination, but if you're that much interested, means that this examination, these US, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, and Ireland examinations are very costly. So if you're that much interested, have a keen desire to pass this exam, have a preparation of 6 months only, attempt this exam. Otherwise, put them on the bank, you will surely get the interest. Because it's a that much tight examination, that much effort you have to produce.
Okay. I have done my PharmD. Do I need any experience to do
No,
all
no,
this?
no, no, no. You can directly apply for the exam. No problem with that.
Thank you.
Can I change my DH or MOH license to HAD? Yes, Mohammed, you can change your MOH or DH license to HAD. No problem with that. After working 1 year, you can change the license. You can change the license to MOH or HAD. No problem with that. Then Dr. Adira V. Shivan, what is the minimum TOEFL score? Required to take NAPLEX. TOEFL, that I have to check, Adira. I will revert to you personally because I think 7 band is enough, but I have to confirm it. Okay. Then Muhammad Imtiaz, is it cost any amount? Yeah, means a conversion of DHA to HAD or MOH to HAD. This its amount is there. You have to you have to apply directly from the ministry. There only you can apply for it. Anything else? Anything else? It's a good interactive section anyway.
Okay, and Muhammad Imtiaz want to know, is it cost any amount like
Yeah,
change?
yeah, I told you because it's a you can directly apply it in there only. It will take some amount. It will means not an easy process. I don't know exact amount because it's directly done by the ministry. Okay, then
I wanted to ask that if a person has gaps in their experience, like if let's say PBEC exam, it requires 3 years, but there are gaps of, I mean, the 3 years were completed in 5 years. So will that be eligible?
means for this Middle East examinations, we need experience. Currently, last 3 year experience or currently last 2 year experience.
With complete continuation, and there should be no
Yeah,
gaps.
continuous experience. If 1 month, 2 months, it's not a problem. More than 8 months is pretty hard to clear the data flow. Anything else?
No doubts.
So I think I will hand over to Vipin. Vipin will discuss. Dr. Vipin will discuss the details of your topics. Radhika.
Okay. There are many myths and confusion associated with pharmacist exam. To clear the clutter, I welcome Mr. Dr. Vivin Varghese, who is also an industry expert in guiding students regarding pharmacist exam. He is a CAPS pass out himself, who now is in tutoring. He is now tutoring students for CAPS. Dr. Vivin.
Good evening, everyone. Anyway, first of all, happy Pharmacist Day for everyone. Okay, so my job, I'm here to explain some of the information about the subjects that we are preparing for the exam. Okay, so our time here is limited, so I'm explaining it really short. Okay, so actually we have to, pharmaceutical science means we have to follow mainly pharmacology, then therapeutics, then pharmaceutics, then calculation. Also, calculation is coming under pharmaceutics, then calculation, then chemistry. Okay, so the main books which we are following for the examination, almost every examination in our institution we are following main 2 books, that is Lippincott and also Comprehensive Pharmacy Review, that is CPR. Okay, almost every information about the drugs and all, it is included in that book. Okay, so in the case of PBC examination, we will add some other book, that is MISBA. Okay, MISBA also we will add for the PBC examination. In the case of NAPLEX, we will add Manan Schroff. It is having so many questions and all. We will discuss about that. Okay, so actually here we are giving the coaching according to the basic. We will start with the basic level. Okay, we know that in our syllabus, in our academic year, the one of the main disadvantage of our academic syllabus is we were not much familiar about this anatomy and physiology. Okay, so if we know the anatomy and physiology, we can easily understand the drug's actions. Okay, so that's why the doctors are more they can explain very well about a drug action compared to us, because they know very well the place which the drug acting. Okay, so that is one of the drawback of our syllabus. Okay, we don't know about the our anatomy and physiology, then we are studying about the drugs. That is one of the main drawback. That's why we are forgetting about every information about the drugs once we study. We will only study according to the exam point of according to the university exam point of view. It's just like a we are answering for the essay questions and all, so we can add any kind of blunders on that. Okay, but this kind of equivalency examination is not like that. We have to opt the correct answer. Okay, there will be a 4 multiple choice options or 5 options. From that we have to choose the exact answer. So everyone we have to everything we have to understand from the basic level. Okay, so the main thing we don't know about the main disadvantage of our knowledge is we don't know the basic level. We know about one drug phenytoin very well, but where it is going and where it is acting, we don't know about that. That is the main issue we are facing when we are preparing for the exam, when we are sitting for the equivalency exam. So here we are clearing these kind of issues. We will start from the basic level. We know that every drugs are acting on the receptors. So first we have to study about the receptors. Then only we understand about this drugs and all. Okay, so all those things are included in the Lipin code and CPR. But the way we are studying for the exam, it is we have to change that. Okay, so this is the main thing which is considered we are following here. Also in our institution we'll have every weekly examinations and all, multiple choice questions examinations, and also you will get we will start from the receptors, then we will go for the some of the physiological part. Some when we discuss about the drugs, when we discuss about the disease, we will also discuss about the anatomy and some physiological part, which is essential for the our point of view. Okay, so that is our kind of teaching. Okay, so basically if anyone who are preparing for the exam, they have to study from the basics, not from the if you are sitting for the exam, you don't start with the disease, you just start with the anatomy physiology, then only you will get the clear idea about that. Okay, so this is the main thing we are considering for all the examination. But in the case of we will go in depth in the case of Canadian exam, then CAPS, then NAPLEX. Okay, also according to their guidelines in Canada, they have a specific guideline. According to that, there will be changes in first choice of drug, second choice of drug and all. So according to that, we will give the separate notes at the time of exam preparations and all. So every country they will have a specific guideline. Okay, maybe they will not in Australia they will use some drugs in the case of some of the disease, I don't remember that. They will use different drugs compared to Canada. Okay, first choice and second choice, it will vary. So every country the guidelines are varied. So according to that we have to study. But basically we have to follow these two books, Lippincott and CPR, Comprehensive Pharmacy Review for NAPLEX. Okay, so these are the main things which coming under the lecture part. So it will take around 5 to 6 months to complete this lecture. So we will have 1 hour class from one faculty, or every faculties we will have 1 hour class according to your time. We will take the class. Okay, this is how the teaching the lecture is going on here. And at the time of before 1 month of the examination, we will have a preparation time. At that time we will give every system wise in the sense after explaining, after taking the lecture about this this basics, we will go through the diseases like CNS diseases, cardiovascular diseases, bone diseases, and all. Okay, so after completing all those things, we will continuously taking the exam based on the different systems. If we are taking CNS, we will take include all the questions which is coming under the CNS diseases. For example, Parkinson disease, also in the case of depression, then epilepsy. We will mix up all those questions because in the exam they will ask they will give you very tricky questions. Okay, in the multiple choice questions, the mostly every exam will have 4 options. In that we can remove 2 options as a wrong answer, but the remaining 2 options very close similar to the answer. So we have to break that confusion during the examination. So we will coach, we will give the coaching according to that. This kind of clarification we will give you during the examination. Also we will during the coaching period, also we will give you the repeated questions which we got during the previous examination. So according this is the pattern that we are following in our institution. Currently we have almost 5 faculties. I am representing all of them. Okay, so these are the main subject wise explanation. I'm not explaining in detail about every examination because it will take more than an hour if I am explaining CAPS exam each and every subject, PBC exam each and every subject. Then in the case of PBC exam, we know that it is around 74 pages are the for the syllabus itself. Okay, so if I'm planning to explain all those things, it will take more than 1 hour. So this is the brief explanation about the subjects that we are following. So if you have any doubts about the subjects, you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Bubin, for providing a new perspective of pharmacist exams. And if anyone has any questions regarding this topic, can raise your question. Our speakers will answer. Okay, Mohammed Imtiaz want to know: is there any non-exam oriented books to study for preparing for UAE exam? Oriented books to study like for UAE exams.
Yes, mainly it is a Lipin code. Lipin code, we are following this UAE examinations. Lipin code is enough for the cracking this UAE, DHA, MO, CHAD exam.
Actually, we will have for overseas this UA exam. We have a note. Okay, we have a note. We just prepared one note. So we are teaching according to that note. Okay, but in the case of CAPS and PPC, this the remaining for an exams, we will take the class. You have to write down your own notes. Okay, so that is the normal pattern which we are following. For UA exam, we already have our former faculty already prepared one note for the students. So we are following that. Okay. So textbook in the sense, Lipin code is the basic, the main textbook that we have to follow. But we have to study according to the exam point of view. Okay, you don't study randomly. We have to study from the basics. Okay, otherwise you cannot remember anything when they are asking any questions. You cannot face that questions. Okay, because first of all, one thing we are not going to write down the drug details in a book. We are going to explain all those things to the patient. Okay, so we are counseling the patient. So for counseling the patient, we should know what all the things we have to tell. We have to discuss with the patient. Maybe the one drug will be having long-term hepatotoxicity. We don't tell the patient like if you are taking this drug you will get liver cirrhosis and all. If we are discussing like that, they won't take that medicine. Okay, so that is also that communication skill also valid. Okay, for this kind of pharmacist examination. So that kind of when we are approaching for the oral examination, these kind of things also they will consider. Okay,
Yeah, Mr. Middle, can you hear me? Mr. Vipin,
What?
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think, like, how many months it will take to cover all the syllabus for the CAPS exam? Like, when we're starting from the beginning,
If
like,
you
maybe
want,
some,
if you
yeah.
want a relax, if you want a relaxed study, you have to sit for, you have to study for five months. Okay. So it is according to your caliber. Mostly we are following a 5 month coaching period, because every students, some students will be having some kind of clinical experience. If you have only the theoretical experience, you don't write the exam within 2 or 3 months. Okay. If you are a clinical experience, that is also not a valid point, because the entirely different, we are following entirely different guideline here. Okay, in different in foreign countries they are following different guidelines. Here we are following another guideline. Okay, so that's why I'm telling, if we are preparing for the exam, it is very good to sit for 5 months. So we have to understand where the drug acts. So that will take some time to understand. Then only we will go for the drugs. Okay. Otherwise, we cannot remember anything. Okay. And one more thing, you don't get any questions that you are prepared, that you are discussed during the coaching period. You will get a new questions. Okay, so you should be have that much of knowledge in order to answer those questions. Otherwise, you cannot. You don't think that these 50 questions or these 100 questions will definitely, this 20 questions from this will come to the exam like that. Every time they will ask, they will change the pattern, they will change the questions. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
so
the
you're,
answer will be
yeah.
right, same answer, but they will ask in different way.
Okay, the repetitive questions, the chances of getting is like very less, you're saying, right? So
What?
every year there'll be change in the question. So the chance to
Yeah,
get a repetitive
every,
question.
not every year, every exam they will change the questions.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
so if for the coming exam there are 20 students or 100 students will be writing the exam from India, the 100 students will get the different questions. Okay.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, and see, Latif want to ask, like, can you explain about the syllabus and question pattern for GP for the HA exam and any specific books to follow?
Mm, G-
Actually, and see, it's a GP means general practitioner. We are just focusing on this pharmacist only, pharmacist topics only. GP means general practitioner. I think Davidson and Harrison. That's are the two books normally refer for the DHA examination. And Davidson MCQs, 1000 MCQs are also used for this DHA examination.
any doubts regarding the syllabus or any subject, anything?
Yeah, Mr. Baby, can you hear me?
Vipin or Midun?
Mr. Vipin, actually.
Okay, tell me.
If I'm asking, like, for a bachelor of pharmacy, for a B Pharm student, they don't have like a
Okay.
clinical experience, so they're not familiar with the pharmacotherapeutics, so all the syllabus will be covered in the family actually. So how we can cope up with that, and how the studies will going on if you're coming to your institution?
The thing I have already explained how the coaching pattern that we are following. We will always we will start from the beginning. Okay, we will start from the basics. In our first student, in my first student, already got a gap of 8 years. Okay, she was not. She was not in that area, in pharmacy area, after the after the BPharm graduate. So we started from the beginning in the sense we given the lecture for basic thing, all the physiology, anatomy. Then we will go for the, then only we will start with the drugs and all. Okay, so the basics is the main thing. because if you are getting a new question, if you are getting a questions that we are not discussed before, we have to answer. In order to answer those questions, we know the basics. Okay, if you know we know about the beta blockers, but the beta blockers, how they are producing, how they are reducing the blood pressure. They can reduce the blood pressure so many ways. They can directly act on the heart. They can reduce the blood pressure by acting on the blood vessels. So everything you know, you if you want to know, you want to study about the receptors. Okay, so basics is the main thing. Other than, if you don't know about the basics, you cannot go forward for this examination. Okay, so that is the main thing. So if you are coming here, we will teach you according like that. Okay, this is a pattern that we are following.
Can you tell the distribution of subjects in the questions? I mean, how much will be there, the calculation questions, and how many will be theoretical?
For which exam?
For let's say DHA or PBEC.
DHA, we cannot tell that how many questions they will distribute. It is every paper it will be differ. Okay, it will be varied. So they will include all the subject in those questions. Okay, maybe you will get 10 questions, maybe you will get only 5 questions. But calculation, you have to think. You have to remember one thing. We are getting a limited time. This is limited time exam. Okay, so they won't give you any big calculations. Only it will be it will be a small calculation. The way you have to understand that question, that is the main thing. Okay, so in my opinion, if you are sitting for if you are practicing a calculation exam, you have to demonstrate everything. Okay, demonstrate in the sense, maybe it will be a prescription calculation, some dilution, something like that. So you have to demonstrate. You have to convert it to your own language. Then you will understand how the calculation is going on. Okay, so the main thing is that they won't give you any big calculation, because every questions, it is the exam is a limited exam. So every questions they will be allotted at some time. Okay, so they will give you the questions in between, that much lengthier questions. Okay, so that is the main thing. The calculation numbers, we cannot confirm that how many numbers will come. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, pretty much. But also tell me that do we have to mention the whole calculation, or just if it's a multiple choice question, then we'll have to just select the question, right?
No, we just need to select that, but we have to find out the answer in paper. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
maybe it will be a 2-step or 3-step calculation. Okay, maybe it will be a t-half questions, dilution, millimoles, something like that. Okay, also biopharmaceutics, they will ask the volume of distribution, dosing interval, all those things. So if you practice, if you practice more questions, you can easily answer the all the questions. Okay, because the practicing the multiple, in order to break this exam, we have to practice more multiple choice questions. Okay, we don't the syllabus covering is main thing, but this practicing questions is one of the important part. Okay, if you know one method, uh, but at the time of exam, maybe you will forget that. Okay, in the case of calculation, that is one of the problem. We will study all the types of calculation, then we will go for the exam. But at the time of exam, you will forget about that. Okay, so in order to we have to cement, we have to fix the every method. Okay, so in order to understand every calculation procedure, we have to practice more questions. Okay, maybe it will be boring, but if it is boring, you will get to know about that questions very well. If that is the main thing, the practicing more questions is one of the main thing for the calculation. Otherwise you will definitely forget. Okay,
I hope everyone have got their answers, and I believe you will all got something resourceful today that would help you in your career. For further questions, you can contact us directly because we have unlimited time. So we are moving towards the end of this webinar, and I hope we get to see soon with another insightful session. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Midun, Mr. Ivor, Mr. Santosh, and Mr. Vibin for an amazing and interactive webinar section. I believe everyone had fun throughout the sessions. I believe throughout the session and learned valuable information regarding the pharmacist exam. I hope you all get the freedom to fly with your career. Okay, if anyone has any further queries, can contact with My Pharmville. We are always happy to help you. Also, we would love to have your feedback regarding this webinar so that we can arrange more sessions like this. I'll drop a feedback form on the group. Everyone can quickly give their suggestions there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.